and welcome in to the Josh Ennis Show. It's Josh and Jilly and Luther on this Wednesday. And we appreciate you guys for being here today. You guys are wonderful. You're beautiful. You already knew that. And we're glad you're hanging out with us. That's how we like it. Lucky for you, that's what we like.
Very true. Your headphones are so loud.
Yeah, no, my head. Like I was listening to something I recorded earlier today.
You're deaf, sir.
Oh, well, yes. It's well documented that I'm deaf. I've never debated that. And I don't know if I'm deaf because of how loud I listen to audio or if I'm deaf from how loud I listen. Does that make any sense? Either way, do I listen to audio loud because I'm already deaf, or am I deaf because of how loud I traditionally listen to audio?
Probably a little bit of both.
That's the question I'm asking. But I'm glad you guys are hanging out with us. Things are good. Things are great. Everything's awesome. Had a nice little show today, although it was a weird show. I'll explain that because I haven't told you about this. I'll tell you about that in a second. But first, I do have to tell you about old Dr. Busby from ToeGrips.com. That is right. ToeGrips.com. Luther loves his toe grips. He does. He tells me about it every day. He says, Dad, tell Dr. Busby I appreciate the toe grips. These toe grips are just spectacular, Dad. Great toe grips. They're amazing.
Well, to be fair, you don't have toe grips, Luther.
Damn it, Dad. Can you get things right? This is why you shouldn't be looking at 10 different things while you're trying to do a live read for Dr. Busby, Dad. Dad, can you ever get anything right? You're just a complete mess, Dad. I don't understand it. No. Luther likes the Encore Mobility. He does not use the toe grips, but if your dog needs toe grips, well, then I would urge you to go to ToeGrips.com. But Luther uses the Encore Mobility. That's right, Encore Mobility from Dr. Busby and ToeGrips.com. It will help your dog get around better. It promotes hip and joint flexibility, restores mobility and comfort, renews vigor and vitality. And I would urge you to go to the website and get this awesome supplement that is green-lipped mussel and New Zealand deer velvet, which is a novel ingredient not found in the big-name joint supplements in the USA. But Dr. Busby said, we need this. This is a game changer, and I'm going to get this approved, and I'm going to make it happen because I want dogs that are kind of dragging ass to feel better. And Luther is one of those dogs that now feels better.
Yes, he is.
Thanks to ToeGrips.com. That is ToeGrips.com. So thank you.
They also have a kit where you can clip the nails. Like, you would never tell people about that, but I feel like it's important because people hate taking their dog to the salon to get their nails trimmed. And you can do it at home. And evidently, Dr. Busby provides easy instructions, your own nail trimming kit. That's also at ToeGrips.com.
Correct. And, of course, Dr. Busby's blog. It's all at ToeGrips.com. 10% off site-wide if you use the promo code Luther. That's Luther. And a 30-day money-back guarantee if you are dissatisfied, unsatisfied, whatever it may be. Go check them out. ToeGrips.com. 10% off if you use the promo code Luther. We love you, Dr. Busby. Thank you so much. I haven't checked in with her in a while, actually.
She's
but
probably
we will.
concerned.
I know, right? But ToeGrips.com. Thank you very much.
Also, knock on the desk because I don't want to have to check in with Dr. Busby about Luther anymore.
No, who you telling?
I love Dr. Busby, but
who you telling?
Our little boy here needs to have a good stretch of not needing medical consultation.
I would agree with that. I think that's I 100% concur. I will give you that. So today I was talking about this story about Texas Tech women's basketball. I don't know if you saw this one, but apparently the coach is a bully, because there's coaches that are bullies. And you never know who, is an actual bully and who is just a bunch of whiny kids. Because growing up, every coach was an a-hole. And it's fascinating because, our parents were totally cool with these random coaches just being jackasses, right? Who's the coach of your little league team? It's just your buddy's dad, basically. He's not some major league player. Will Clark is not your baseball coach. It's just some random dude's dad. But somehow being the coach of the team gives you this kind of autonomy and this authority to be a jackwagon. And your parents just kind of took it. You're like, Dad, they made us run 5,000 pole-to-pole runs in baseball, and I thought I was going to pass out. Well, Josh, you're probably a pussy. Coach knows what's best for you. Dad, Coach works at a refinery during the day and coaches us during the afternoon. It's not like he's some authority on baseball. Yeah, Josh, stop your bitching. get out there and go run. But that's like how our parents were. Like, it's fascinating that like now professional coaches that get paid $5 million, $3 million, $2 million a year, millionaire coaches of college programs are now considered bullies. But and listen, they haven't changed from what they used to be. I mean, people have always been kind of jerks. Coaches have always kind of had that. They have good moments, bad moments. It's just so fascinating that we just kind of accept it. You know, like parents just accept that the coach, the random dude that decided to take the time out of his day to coach the Little League, can be an asshole because he's the coach.
Oh, my dad used to coach like the 8th grade basketball team. He was a teacher as well. But he was hard on those kids. I remember like seeing him scream at these kids on the court and everything. Like he was intense.
Yeah, it fascinates me. It fascinates me how we kind of, accept that. Now, I think a lot of these kids are just pusses anyway, right?
Well, now especially.
Yes, like I get it that everybody kind of wants to speak up now and say this is terrible, this is terrible. And if you're a coach, I don't know, especially in college, I think in the pros it's different. But if you're a high school coach, a college coach, a little league coach, like how far can you push?
Well, you can't get away with making jokes. Like I had a gym teacher in PE once who used to just make me the butt of all her jokes.
Like what? What kind of jokes?
Like, I think we were doing like an archery class or something, and she'd be like, all right, well, everyone's doing good except for Jilly. Like, she's not going to get this. We already know it's not going to happen.
And what's wrong with that?
And I would laugh, like, because it was funny.
You're like, you're right.
Like, you're
I'm not
wrong.
going to get it.
Like, totally. Or like we'd be doing like the mile around the building, and I just like kind of like cut through the middle, and she's like, yeah, what else is new? Like, like it was funny.
Oh, I think we all have that kind of relationship with coaches too, like in PE or
you could bust balls with each other almost.
And it's weird. Like now I don't think you dare do that.
No,
like I
you
don't
can't
think
do
that any teacher would dare do that because if you piss off the wrong kid, that kid goes, tells their parents, and all of a sudden they own the school.
She put me down. Like she's telling me I can't do something. Now I have, mental issues.
Well, you say that
and
was what this story
thing.
was. This story, one of the parts of this story.
I didn't even know the story.
No, but one of the parts of the story was this one gal on the team felt that she was being disrespected in front of the men players, like she was being made fun of in front of the men's team.
Oh, okay.
And she said it caused her panic attacks now.
Oh, I see.
Now she has panic attacks. So evidently my dad plays for the Texas Tech Lady Raiders.
Before you know it, you're not going to be able to have kids coming off the bench for less minutes than the starters either. They're going to have to play equal minutes.
Correct.
It'll be all equal.
I understand the argument. Like, I'm not saying be like, the coach of the Yankees and the Bad News Bears and be a loon.
But why is this a story? I think it's ridiculous.
There was also some alleged, I think one of the staff members of the medical staff people, the trainers, allegedly did some inappropriate rubbing of one of the gals.
Okay, see, that's an issue.
I would agree with that.
But the other part, okay.
Yes. And that's basically all the story was. And then it was, and then there was another part of it that said, they based playing time in games on whether or not your heart rate stayed above 90% or something, like, or heart capacity. I don't know.
Well, that's just stupid
It's just
coaching.
all stupid stuff, right? Like,
that's just
but
dumb.
everybody's all worked up about it. And I was talking about this today, and at the beginning of the show, and anytime I refer to like women's sports or basketball in particular, and I forgot who the player was that said this, but one of these chicks that play in the WNBA said she felt that like 98% of the chicks in the WNBA are lesbians. So anytime I refer to women's basketball, I just say, well, the lesbians over at Texas Tech, the lesbian basketball players. Well, fast forward about an hour, AJ comes in and he says, far be it from me to tell you how to do things, but let's not just throw a blanket over everyone. That's where we get in trouble, right? He also handed me a yellow piece of paper. On this yellow piece of paper, it was information that I had asked him for. I asked him for some data about like podcasts with the station. So that's what was on this piece of paper. It was a Post-it note.
Yep.
And he comes in and he's laughing. He says, yeah, maybe let's just pump the brakes on that because we all get ourselves in trouble when we throw out these generalizations, whatever.
He's not wrong.
And I get it, but I mean, sometimes you're feeling yourself a little bit. And hey, the lesbians at Texas Tech. It's kind of just an inside joke on the show, essentially, which is, every week, because Nick and I had the discussion about whoever that basketball player was that said 98% of the players are lesbians. So now all basketball players are lesbians. LOL. It's a joke on the show. Well, we're on Twitch during all this, during the break. And AJ, when he comes in, he hands me this little yellow piece of paper, this Post-it note that has some data that I was looking for. Well, someone on the chat goes, wow, look, it sounds like you got scolded and you just got a yellow card. So I said, all right, well, I'll take this somewhere because honestly, I had nothing else going on today. It was one of those days where it's funny. like I'll get into doing really sportsy shit for about 2 weeks, and then I'll get into like doing like non-sports stuff for 2 weeks, and then there'll be that week also in there where over like a 5-week stretch where I'm just kind of like, I just want to talk about myself this week. Like that's my
You
flow.
always want to talk about yourself.
I do. But it's one of those situations where, like today, for instance, other than the story about the Texas Tech thing, and other than the story about Blake Lively, and we'll talk about that in a second too.
Yeah.
Other than those stories, I didn't want to talk about the Astros today. Like, who cares? Like, oh wow, they won a baseball game. I talked about how baseball isn't all that interesting to me right now, right? So after 1 hour of the show, and basically, I mean, it was all content. The first hour was the Blake Lively thing. It started with the Texas Tech thing. Then we gave away the Golden Wokey Award. We let the audience decide who gets today's Golden Wokey Award.
That's good.
Which was a battle between Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds and the kindergarten cop lady in Portland. Portland chick won easily. And then I forgot what we did in the next segment, and then I did some baseball stuff to end the hour. Well, that is when AJ comes in and tells me, hey, let's maybe not throw a blanket over all basketball players and say they're all lesbians.
Well, especially because these Texas Tech girls are not messing around. They're going to come like protest outside the station.
Well, that'd be good for us. We might have higher than a 0.3. It'd actually not be bad news. But anyway, so when I noticed that someone on the chat says, boy, you got yellow carded. So I said, I'll go with this. To which the next hour became, yeah, AJ just came in here and he is not happy. He's not happy about the content of the show, and I'm getting a bad vibe about this. I'm getting a bad vibe, and he just came in and gave me this thing, this yellow piece of paper, like a yellow card, and that takes off, and all these people start calling because we start talking about your favorite memories of the show because today may be the last show.
Oh, you love that.
That's one of my go-tos. That's
Boy.
like the cuz talking about the Cowboys. It's like one of those things I do when I'm like,
actually, it's up
you
there.
know what? Yeah, okay. I mean, I got it. So people start calling, talking about how AJ's an idiot and what's he doing, and he's a pussy anyway, and they start ripping him and all this, and you know how the bit ends up going. Everybody goes. So talk about how it's the end of the show. Then AJ comes in the final segment of the show and then says that it's all kind of a bit, whatever, and then he and I just make fun of Clint Sterner.
Well, that's a good end.
I think that's our bond. Like, we literally just get in there and make fun of Clint Sterner together for 10 minutes at the end of every show. And we make fun of the kid he does the show with, too, which is, it's one of those weird things about me. Like, I like the kid. He's a good enough person, so I don't dislike him as a person. But it's impossible to not make fun of his social media because his social media, he refers to himself as show in all caps and has like a weird inner monologue with himself, right?
He does.
So like, it's almost like if Kevin from the Wonder Years, if that narrator, right? If the narrator from the Wonder Years were just a dopey local radio host, that's what his Twitter is like to me. Because like today, for instance, I guess they're doing a wacky bit on 610 where he was eating bananas and hot sauce. Like, oh, what a bit. Wacky as hell.
To be fair, if you'd have had Jim eat bananas and hot sauce, you'd have thought it was brilliant.
No, because I wouldn't have had Jim eat bananas and hot sauce.
Sorry,
okay?
crickets.
My bad. That bit had meaning. That was because it was for good luck. Okay, we were trying to bust the Astros out of a losing streak. That's why we ate crickets. And eating crickets is a little bit more bold than eating a banana. No, don't you? This isn't about ripping me. I'm ripping show in all caps right now. Okay, I don't need this from you. But so we were making fun of it. But you read his Twitter, and it's like, "What'd you get yourself into now, show?" I'm like, you're talking to yourself on your Twitter, and you're talking to yourself in the third person.
Because you never do that.
I also like, so somehow, first of all, on Twitter, I don't.
Josh Ennis says.
Okay, but I do that. That is ironically.
Is it?
I do a lot of shit ironically, okay? This guy's not doing this ironically. Everybody's so I don't know why you're so hateful to it. And then what you do is you get these little minions of people who don't like me that are somehow on here.
It's
and
fun.
they'll side with you. Oh, they all sit here and watch this dumb podcast every day, but they dump on me every day for all the stuff I do and all the bits. By the way, Jim and I are far more brilliant at radio, okay, than anything they're doing over at 610. So don't bring Jim into this, okay? We did brilliant stuff. I don't like that you're trying to undermine our brilliance that we put forth for people over at 790. Like, I see this go Gadget Wang who says you're on point. Well, what do you want from me? What do you want from me? Oh, my bad. I'm sorry that I do bits on occasion. Oh, no, sorry.
Well, you get so angry lately.
I'm not angry. I'm just feisty. not really angry about anything.
Might need to drink that wine tonight, not until Friday. We're
I
trying
don't
to
need
wait
any
till
wine.
Friday, but
I don't need wine
you
at
might need
all.
to calm down a little bit, get some wine buzz going.
Well, I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm just saying.
You're nice and chill when you drink the wine.
I'm fine. I'm totally good. I have no issue here whatsoever. But my point is, and I don't even know what my point is.
I don't
anymore.
either.
I mean, but people rip me. Oh, I mean, you're leading your group of people, these minions out here that want to rip me for whatever. I don't know what I did wrong today, but all of a sudden I'm getting ripped by people.
What Josh Ennis did wrong today?
I do not refer to myself as Josh Ennis all that often. Okay. Let's see. Jim and me were brilliant. Puts bad quarterback name on a trash can. Yeah, brilliant. No, hey, Jim. Hey, Joe, block him. Okay.
Assweiler
Block
can
him.
was pretty great,
Block him.
and that did get national attention.
Whenever this move happens, Joe, if you're in the chat, block him. That's the Trump block move. One of these. That's going to be code. Now you know code. Okay. The code you know now, Joe, is 2 of these, 1 of these. That means block.
While we're at
There.
it, did you ever hear back from the Philly station?
No, why are we doing this? You brought this shit up this time, okay? I don't want any part of it.
No, you're not funny.
I don't need any part of that.
I was just wondering.
Oh, God. All right, so, Joe, are you in the chat? I'm giving you the code. But anyway, so that was how the radio show went today. And of course, a bunch of people called, and they're all into it and wacky, and you know, it's fun, and it's wonderful, and it's a great time. But anyway, so the topic that I had on the show today, now really quick, Joe wants you to know that Go Gadget is a loyal gisser. Let's give him a chance at redemption.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, you'd probably block me if I said anything too. So
First of all, I don't block a lot. I don't have anybody blocked on social media. I get rid of some
I meant
people
on
in this.
Twitch.
Oh well, yes, I would block you, and I wish I could block you right
I
now.
know.
I would block the hell out of you right now. But okay, whatever. If
at least Joe's here to be the voice of reason.
apparently, like it says, Go is a made man. Apparently, he is a made man. It would appear so because Joe is out here protecting Go Gadget Wang in the chat, despite the fact that Go Gadget Wang clearly does not like the show because all he does is criticizes everything I do.
Maybe he's like me and just likes to be sarcastic towards you because it's easy to set you off.
First of all, I do not get easily set off.
Oh, okay.
I don't. I am not easily set
You
off.
might be the most easily set off
that's
person.
not true at all. I'm not easily set off. I don't think so. Josh Ennis is not
No,
easily set
never.
off. Never. Not in a million years is Josh Ennis easily set off, you crazy people. But we were talking about the thing with Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds. Here's what fascinates me about this. This kind of goes to my point about people who create racism so they can then overcome the racism or denounce their own racism. That's what you get from Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds. So, did you know they got married at a plantation in South Carolina?
I mean, I'm sure I've read that before that they did.
But did you remember it? Did you recall it?
No.
Because I had no idea. And I would guess that the vast majority of the country had no idea they were married at a plantation. And newsflash, the vast majority of the country would not care that they were married at a plantation, would not give a damn, wouldn't think twice about it. No one cares. Even in 2020, no one was looking for Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds and going back and looking 8 years ago to their wedding to see if it was at a plantation or not. But then it's hysterical to watch the reaction that they put up for it, right?
Well, yeah, that's what I'm trying to find the exact quote because that makes it really that
the
much
quote
better.
is hysterical from them because they said, well, we
It's
found a wedding
something-
venue on Pinterest.
Yeah, so that was just a venue on Pinterest or whatever. He says, this is, quote, something we'll always be deeply and unreservedly sorry for.
Because you got married at a plantation. By the way, you got married in America. America's a horrible place, according to everybody.
It's
So why don't you feel
impossible.
guilty about that?
The quote goes on, it's impossible to reconcile. What we saw at the time was a wedding venue on Pinterest. What we saw after was a place built upon devastating tragedy.
My God. Like, dude, if you want to get technical, my guess is the street you live on in Hollywood or wherever you live, probably named after someone who did some bad stuff. You live in America, founded by people who did bad stuff and owned slaves and fought wars. Like, if you really want to dig deep into this, we could just eradicate ourselves. We could just kill ourselves and we can denounce ourselves because if that's what we're basing this on, if we're basing whether or not we're good or bad people on whether or not you got married at a plantation or not, or something racially or insensitive, if that's who we're basing ourselves on, then the whole country is in hell. The whole country's a horrible place. Everything's named after bad things. So we should all feel horribly guilty, right? That's what this is. We should feel terrible. We should feel awful about all of this. So, like, that's a lame story. That is an example of rich white people. I guess they got out in front of it because they thought maybe someone was going to call them out on
My
it.
guess is maybe like, because Ryan Reynolds is everywhere. Blake Lively, I haven't seen her in a minute, but
I
Ryan
see
Reynolds
her in my dreams most of the time.
You know, my guess is like he got one or two trolls on Twitter who said something, and they were like, "Oh boy."
But then I guess this was a response to a question in an interview, though. Like, I think this was an interview he was doing with someone where he answered this. I don't think he just offered this up. But still, like, when you really think about it, no one cares. So basically, this is what white people, white celebrities, white rich people do because they live with some sort of guilt over it for whatever reason. But this is what you get from these celebrities. These celebrities are all now mind bleeped into believing that you have to denounce everything and you have to admit all of your sins or you will be screwed, which I also don't believe. But what you got here in this instance with Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively denouncing themselves as bigots for having their wedding at a plantation in South Carolina, this is what white people like to do now. White people want to create racism where it doesn't exist so they can cancel themselves and be heroes.
I feel like
what they don't know is nobody cares. Like black folks, they don't give a shit. No one does.
Like, you just sound ridiculous already. And then I think you get even more like sounding super white points for dropping Pinterest in your quote.
Oh, yes. Like, we were on Pinterest, and that's where we found our and then we went to what's the Poshmark, and I bought my wedding dress at Poshmark. But that's the problem we run into with these dopey celebrity people is that's what they want to do. It's like somehow that's the trendy thing to do is denounce yourself and call yourself a bigot. And like there are people that are legit bigots, people that don't like black people, people that don't like Mexican people.
I'm not a bigot, but I'm allowed to be one.
People like Coach Dave.
Yep.
Those people exist. They are real people. When Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds virtue signal in such a way that they created a world where they're racist, where nothing racist actually took place, like you're a new level of kind of sad. Like you've actually one-upped Lady Antebellum. At least Lady Antebellum, in the name of their band, has a word that like 6 people found offensive a couple of months ago, and they canceled themselves. You got married at a plantation. BFD. Who really cares that you got married at a plantation?
I think
Why is it a huge issue?
Tons of people probably got married at plantations last year before the Rona happened.
Oh, absolutely.
Of all races, by the way.
Yes, absolutely. But now we're in a world where we can't call it the master bedroom because that is they're slave.
Right.
You can't say these are plantation shutters on the window because, of course, that is slavery and that is offensive, and you can't do that. And it's awful. Like people pay way too much attention to really the benign, bogus stuff that's just virtue signaling instead of getting real things done. Like the idea that this story matters is absurd. So that was one nominee for the Golden Wokie today, which is a pretty strong one because you've got all the elements there of white guilt, made up racism where it wasn't, canceling yourself before anybody else could. I mean, that's got some real good, deep layers of a Golden Wokie worthy material. But there's another person, and this person is an author in Portland. And if things start with author in Portland, that's usually not a good start.
Right.
It is a great start if you're trying to win a Golden Wokie. If you're trying to win the Golden Wokie, starting your story with author from Portland is a really good place to start. This woman, who her name was like Lori Levine or something Levine, this lady was upset by the fact that a drive-in was showing Kindergarten Cop. Why is Kindergarten Cop offensive? Kindergarten Cop is offensive because it promotes the stereotype of the school-to-prison pipeline involving black kids and Hispanic kids and kids of color, according to this woman. So she had to have it canceled.
And evidently, a bunch of people on the staff of this cinema movie, whatever it's called, the club. the Film Association.
Yep.
I don't know, whoever was showing the movies agreed.
Because they're cowards.
Yeah.
Of course they agreed.
Like, you would think she'd be by herself on this. Oh, no.
Because when somebody with I guess if you want to say somebody with a voice, I don't know if this person actually has a voice or not, but when somebody accuses you of being racist, you cannot fight back. You are told that you can, like basically once someone, in this case, is this a white woman doing this? I would imagine,
guess.
I mean, Portland, I would assume white author lady. So this lady, once she has signaled you out and called you racist and said that you are supporting the police, the school to prison pipeline, what choice do you have? You're in Portland. Are you someone that's going to step up and say, all right, cut the shit. Let's pump the brakes here. This is out of control. Of course you're not going to do that. You're in Portland. What, or anywhere. We could just say it's Portland. It's everywhere.
I also like that she, compared it to Gone with the Wind, because it's just a movie.
Well, not just Gone with the Wind, like Birth of the Nation,
Yes.
which is considered one of the most racist movies of all time.
Yes.
Kindergarten Cop is now in the same realm as Birth of a Nation.
I think it's also important to point out what movie they replaced the Kindergarten Cop showing with.
Yes, they gave you the John Lewis documentary.
Yes, correct.
And not only that, though, the other thing that stands out about that is the exact same documentary that Drew Brees referenced
that's the
when
one
Drew
to watch.
Brees was trying to earn his woke points. He says, guys, just so you know, just a quick little mention on Twitter and Instagram, watch the John Lewis documentary. Fantastic, and I learned a lot. Thank you very much. God, it's people are out of control. We know they're out of control. It's baffling. Everything's baffling. It's funny, and I didn't even think of it this way. But Aaron, who produces The Blitz, and then he also produces Patrick and Jason's show, he brought up when I got into this story, he hadn't heard the story. So his thought was someone was canceling it over the scene where the kid goes, boys have a penis and girls have a vagina.
That would be the obvious
like
one.
you would think that would be what you would cancel everything over because, of course, girls can have penises and boys can have vaginas now. It's 2020, man. Pick your poison. When you're shat out of the womb, big dog, make a decision. You might say, well, I have a penis. Guess what? I want to be a girl, and that's what I want to be. That's 2020. So there was some validity. I thought, yeah, I didn't even think of it that way. But right now, we're not really paying attention to that category of wokedom, which is transgender topics.
No, currently.
You're distracting from the real message, as Malcolm Jenkins would say. You're deflecting here. The real issue, of course, is that of the police being terrible.
Just wait here a minute. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning, Miss Schalowski.
Your teacher, Mrs. Hagley, had to go on an important trip for a few days.
Where'd she go?
That doesn't matter.
Did she die?
No, Lowell. She went to see someone.
Lowell. The kid's name is Lowell.
Did they die?
No, Lowell.
I forgot how this works. How did he end up in here?
Because I think he's trying to find like a murderer, like a suspect. Something has to do with one of the kids.
Yeah, that's it. And that's how he ends up being the teacher. See, movies used to be so simple. Like, there's so many questions. Why is there a cop that's teaching kindergarten? Yeah, it doesn't really matter.
He was undercover, I believe.
Yeah, well, I understand.
Yeah.
Well, maybe they know they know he's a cop in the movie, right? Like, or they don't just think he's just a teacher. Don't they know he's a cop or no? I don't know.
Everyone dies, you know.
I know, but not for a long, long time. Now, until Mrs. Hagley comes back, we have someone special to help. This is Mr. Kimball, your new kindergarten teacher.
So I guess it makes sense that they wouldn't know he's a cop.
Yeah, they don't know he's a cop.
Yeah, I would assume they don't know.
Right. Don't
Okay.
make me question my knowledge.
Listen, I don't know. I don't know everything about kindergarten cop. I just know it's not something we should be offended over. That's what I know. See, this is a good classic concept, though, like fish out of water. Guy that doesn't like kids having to teach kids. It's an old, simple trope, but it's
Or
wonderful.
My Spy.
Well, that was all, yes. That was terrible.
Yes.
Now, let's everybody say good morning, Mr. Kimball.
Good morning, Mr. Kimball.
Good morning,
You know what I see when I see him playing uncomfortable like this? This is what I imagine Meltzer would look like if he were teaching kindergarten kids. Like, hello, good morning.
Yeah, probably.
They're all yours. I'll be watching you.
I really need
Hi.
to brush up on my kindergarten cop knowledge.
How are you? I'm very happy to be here. First, I would like to just get to know you.
Oh, I sat on a piano. Classic. Classic.
Quiet.
Oh, and he's gonna F shit up. Here's what he's gonna do. You know why? Because he's kindergarten cop, and he doesn't tolerate no tomfoolery from these dopey ass kids. He's got to solve a crime.
I want to ask you a bunch of questions. And I want to have them answered immediately. How many of you were born in Astoria? Come on, raise your hands. Let's see them.
I love it. It's a great concept. I love when you get like the really kind of bogged down adults that don't like kids that have to mess with the kid. It's a classic. This is classic stuff here.
Okay. Now, anyone that was not born in Astoria, somewhere outside like California, raise your hands.
Ooh, California.
Yes.
I need to go to the bathroom.
Okay, you can go.
Boys have a penis, girls have a vagina.
Thanks for the tip.
And now you couldn't even say thanks for the tip. You know why you couldn't say thanks for the tip? Because that's not even factual according to people anymore. That's not even reality. But see, that's classic stuff right there. That's good stuff. And now, like, if you go back and look at a lot of these Arnold movies, right? Could I argue that a lot of Arnold's movies are problematic? Not even including the ones that are about violence, like Terminator or something like that, but like Junior, where he's a fella that I get, like, is pregnant.
Right. That's probably a big deal.
Well, that's
or
probably
it's
powerful.
very powerful.
That's a powerful movie. Like,
Yeah.
this is what we need to accept, that he's a man who is pregnant. That's probably, yeah, you know what? I think it's powerful. Problematic or powerful, I would lean towards powerful, because that probably gives hope to a lot of men that want to get knocked up. I'm sure there are a bunch of wacko men out there that are dying to get
Well, there
pregnant.
was that one pregnant man who was on Oprah.
Was he?
That was a long time ago. You remember that story?
No.
The pregnant man? It was a big story.
Did he give birth?
I think so.
It's kind of like, what is it? So I Married an Axe Murderer?
I mean, this was well before like all the transgender, trans whatever. It was many, many years ago.
Really?
But it was a big deal.
I had no idea about
Have
that.
you never heard of the pregnant man on Oprah?
I had never heard of that. I mean, I've heard of pregnant man gives birth, and that's a fact. And that's on
Yeah, this is
that's
from
So I Married
April-
an Axe Murderer.
April of 2008 is when we first met the pregnant man on Oprah Winfrey.
Oh, let's see. So pregnant man Oprah. Let's see if that's available on here. First look, pregnant man and the Samano quintuplets. Where are they now? Well, that's only a 30-second clip. I need more. You know, I don't want to sit here and watch Oprah with a pregnant man. I need to see some
I
pregnant
just
man.
can't believe you've
That's
never
absurd.
heard of that. That was like the biggest story of the year.
I have never heard of that. I've never heard that there was a pregnant fellow. That's news to me. I guess I'm out of touch. I had no idea that there was a story about a pregnant man giving birth.
Yeah,
I thought it was a joke on So I Married an Axe
No,
Murderer.
he was
but-
born a female and then underwent gender reassignment surgery and then was able to still deliver the baby as a man.
Here's a little bit of that story. As this is Oprah, who's had a very, very tough life, if you haven't heard.
I thought about seeing everything, and then I saw a pregnant man. Thomas and his wife Nancy announced on our show that they were having a girl. They invited our cameras to come along for an ultrasound.
That's the heartbeat.
This is weird. I don't like it.
So today we'll just be looking at position.
So, does he have a vagina?
Well, he did.
So he was a lady that's becoming a man
He had the gender assignment surgery, reassignment surgery.
to become a man
Yes.
from being a lady.
Yes.
Okay. So where does the baby come out of? Do they just cut it out of him, or does he have a vagina?
Maybe it's a C-section.
That would make more sense.
Hand.
He's gonna have one hell of a scar, brother.
Right up by the face. You can see it actually cupped like that. Little fingers.
Like, I almost feel like this is cheating. This is cheating. Like, you get knocked up and then you become a man. I don't know. A man has not given birth. That is a woman who is becoming a man giving birth.
At this point, he has already become a man.
Like, to me, it's a lot. Now, if you're just a straight up heterosexual male and you're not getting anything changed and somehow you get pregnant, then that's a story.
Well, again, he's already had that done.
But you started out as a lady. You were a lady to start. So there's obviously some tackle in there, the things that work.
I'm glad you're just now finding out about this story from, 12 years ago.
My bad. I apologize that I didn't know about the pregnant man that gave birth. But that's still, to me, not a pregnant man. It's not like, I'm talking straight up, born a man, super heterosexual, like macho, machismo, Burt Reynolds type of man that gets knocked up. Then we have a story. But not a dude who used to be a lady, therefore some of the parts are still in there working.
Well, I think that's the interesting part is he got those parts removed.
I don't know. I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like Oprah either. I never liked Oprah, though. But Oprah wants you to know that white people have it easy. And don't you guys forget that white people have it easy.
There's always a leg up with your whiteness.
Let me tell you who's got a leg up. Stedman. Stedman's got a leg up. Out of all the alleged white people who are out there that are benefiting from everything in the world and how life is so easy for all these white people, tell me about Stedman, Oprah. That dude doesn't do a damn thing. And he just, suckles off of your billionaire teat. So tell me about privilege.
Are they still actually, together?
I think they are. I went to Wikipedia today to look up Stedman to see, what he does. In the known for category, and this could just be someone being an a-hole, but in the known for category, it just says relationship with Oprah. That's what Stedman does.
Yep,
that's what Stedman is known
of
for.
Oprah Winfrey.
Hey, listen, I don't fault the dude. Hey, go get yours, man. She's rich, whatever. I think Oprah's a lesbian.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. She's with Gail.
Well, that's what they claim.
Yeah.
But nobody, they've denied that. Gail and Oprah have never said, yep, we're lesbians. They've never said that. There's the rumor, kind of like how Whitney Houston and her assistant were allegedly lovers, right? But they never came out. Oprah has never come out. In fact, she's vehemently denied that she's a lesbian. But the rumor and the urban legend, if you want to call it that, is that she and Gayle King are lovers. Notice that Stedman's just kind of cool collecting that check. He's the beard. Stedman is the beard in the relationship. Everyone knows that. Oprah's a lesbian. Now, is Queen Latifah a lesbian?
I don't know if she's out in the open.
But, is there any question that Queen Latifah is a lesbian? When you look, you want to know, I'm killing the music for a second. This is an important conversation we need to have before I get to these sponsors. It's a very important conversation. Who decided that Queen Latifah makes any sense as the love interest in a movie? What's that basketball movie, Just Right?
Oh, with Common?
You want me to believe that Common is going to go out and just be like, yeah, now all these options, I'm a pro basketball player and get any ass I want, that I'm going to just shack up with Queen Latifah? I don't understand what it is with black women. Just say you're lesbians. What's wrong with that? Would anybody care if Oprah was a lesbian? No. People would be like, hey, Oprah's a lesbian, whatever. It's trendy to be a lesbian. Now, would anybody have cared that Whitney Houston was a lesbian? They didn't care that Whitney Houston was hopped up on crack all the time. Do you think they would have cared that she was a lesbian? Or Gayle King? Would anybody really care? It's really super trendy to be a gay man right now. Look at Anderson Cooper and Andy Cohen. And, being gay is a very trendy thing to be. Do you think anybody would really be upset about that? Do you think that it would ruin the career of any of these people if they admitted that they were lesbians? I don't think so. Anyway, who do I have to tell them about?
Colonial Concepts and Design.
Colonial Concepts and Design. That is our friend Mike Cohen, and he's an awesome guy. He's got a great business there in the Philly area, and who knows, they might have to have some remodeling done on some of these houses, maybe even more extravagant than he can do, because a lot of the flooding and everything that's happened there, which sucks for all the people in Philly. But let me tell you something now. Here's a little nugget for you. Mike Cohen at Colonial Concepts and Designs. He wants to make your house look real nice. That's what he wants to do. Take your old, dilapidated house, make it look shiny and new. Floor and wall, kitchen and bath, cabinets and countertops, drywall and drywall repairs. They do it all. They are a family-owned and operated Delaware Valley business servicing Philadelphia to South Jersey and all the burbs in between. Now, Here's what I can also tell you about Colonial Concepts and Designs. They hire great people, not scummy people. If you're someone in the Philly area and you've got a history working in construction, reach out to my buddy Mike Cohen. They might have a job for you, right? This is a good time to want to just, some people don't have jobs. So if you work in construction or have in the past and you're not a scummy person, reach out to my friend Mike Cohen as well, and he might have a job for you. But if you need work done on your home and you want to save 15% off the labor costs, well, just give them a call. The number is 609-849-7558, 609-849-7558. Mention the show. You'll get 15% off your total labor cost. Check out their YouTube channel. They got a bunch of cool stuff on there. You can see the before and after videos there. I would urge you to check that out. They are wonderful people over at Colonial Concepts and Designs. Say hello to Mike. And if you're looking for some work and you've been in the construction field before, well, there you go. Reach out. It's Colonial Concepts and Design. Who's next?
Next, we have Prime One Consulting.
Prime One Consulting. I was texting with Jason today, Jason may even join the radio show. How about that? He's a loyal discer, and he's been there. I mean, he reached out to me basically right after I got fired and thought about doing a podcast, and he said, listen, you do a podcast, I'm in, man. I'm all about it. That is Jason with Prime One Consulting. They are in the mold business. What do they do in this mold business? They come to your house and inspect for mold. If you're buying or selling a property, if you're moving into a rental property, if you have frequent sinus headaches or sinus issues, immune-compromising illnesses, or you've had recent water damage to your home, you should have your home checked out for mold. Come in. They do a great job with it, right? They have an 8-step process that doesn't take very long at all. They've been to the house with us, and they've done it before. Really cool what they do with all their gizmos and gadgets, and they will detect whether or not you have lousy air. And if you have lousy air, you want to have better air. It'll make your life considerably better. So here's what you do. Get in touch with Prime One Consulting, 281-545-5005, 281-545-5005. You'll get $50 off if you mention the Josh Ennis Show. $50 off for that healthy air that you want to be breathing, that you should be breathing. It's 281-545-5005. That is Prime One Consulting. That is Prime, the numeral one consulting.com, our buddy Jason. There you go. Anything else?
That's it.
That is it. So what else is going on in the world today, Jilly? I know what's the situation in Philadelphia looking like? Is the water going down?
Yeah, I think it started going down this morning.
Well, that's good for them. I saw a lot of McDougal's were surfing the waves, as it were, there, riding the waves. Seems like our neck of the woods in Philadelphia really got it pretty good, right down there on the water, down in Manayunk.
Venice Island, which, again, I like this guy on the news who evidently was shocked because he didn't know that, renting an apartment on an island had a chance to flood.
And is that where those apartments are down by that walking trail,
yeah.
like the footpath down there?
Yep.
Well, of course there's a chance of flooding down there. You're on a river. So, of course, that could happen. I don't think it would have impacted us because we were, pretty much to the top. So we were in good shape. Did you tell me that there's a serial pooper in Philadelphia?
Yeah,
like someone who's pooping on cars?
I saw it on Barstool earlier. I think it was in Fishtown.
That somebody is pooping on cars in Fishtown is what you're telling me.
Yep.
So what's the story? So the guy just goes around and poops on cars?
It was on Reddit. It was like a neighborhood report, and I guess this guy or girl.
Let's assume guy, but you know what? Let's be equal opportunity.
It's Philly.
Maybe, dude, I mean, who are you telling, okay? I could totally buy that some lady McDougal out there in her Brian Dawkins jersey is just going around crapping on people's cars.
Yeah,
I could buy it.
They poop on the grill of your car and leave 2 napkins, and that's, been happening.
And that's their calling card to leave 2 napkins. So you know that, the nasty Delaware Valley shit bandits have been there because they left their napkins. It's not the poop that gives it away. So they're pooping on the front of cars, like on the grill of a car and leaving 2 napkins.
Yep.
Tell them that the white trash Philly poop bandits sent you. It's interesting. I say it's interesting. There's always some kind of story like that in Philly. Like when we got there and they had the Swiss cheese masturbator.
Oh, yeah.
And the guy would just drive around in his car and he would just masturbate in the car using Swiss cheese. That was his thing. And that was one of the first times I dealt with the hypocrisy of Philly people because I would talk about the Swiss cheese masturbator on nights, and they'd rip me for it. Angelo would talk about the Swiss cheese masturbator in the mornings, Rhea, and then everybody would be like, hey, Angelo's talking about it. It's okay. Everything is totally fine.
I give that guy credit though, not Angelo, the Swiss cheese masturbator, because at least that was like a unique thing.
I'd never heard of that before. Now pooping,
yeah,
a
I've
lot
heard
of
of people
poop.
pooping.
Wasn't there a story like that too here in our neighborhood with someone pooping? Like was someone on the Ring doorbell? Like Jilly loves these. Like we got a Ring doorbell. I set it up poorly, so we don't get the best
ours
view of
is
everything.
not very good.
But there's also these neighborhood app, like these watch the neighborhood type apps. And everybody, all these people yented up on these apps, and they talk about, who's pooping in people's yards, who's breaking into cars.
Well, I'm
Like,
not even
you
on the
dig
really.
that.
I'm not on the good app because that's the one you have to put your name and stuff on. So I don't get on that one. I don't get on like the real detailed one. I just get on like the anonymous like neighborhood.
So what is some of the weirdest stuff you've seen on there?
Like dudes masturbating in front of people's Ring doorbells.
Like maybe that just now. Do we think that's just hobos, or is just like some drunk guy?
It's like this white dude who's all tatted up.
So maybe he's just homeless, or maybe he's just he likes to demonstrate.
But yeah, I'm not on the Real Good Neighbors app. I wish.
I don't know how you're not. I wish my grandma
because
was still
I'm not
alive.
going to put my name on that. Like in Philly, I was able to do it because I was able to get on as Marty McDougal and they approved me. Because nobody cares. Here, like this neighborhood is crazy.
So you'd have to put your full name on there and
Your exact address, all that stuff.
But at least you get to see the basic gist of what's going on in the neighborhood without putting your full name on it.
For the most part, but it's not nearly as
So
detailed.
dudes masturbating on porches, though, or in front of Ring doorbells is kind of like the wackiest it gets.
That I've seen.
Yes. And we've seen stories of people pooping in yards. The people in this neighborhood, I can tell you one thing they don't do. They don't pick up their dog's poop. There's always poop. I don't understand how you can just leave your dog's poop on the sidewalk. You're a monster.
I also like
and
when
you
they put
deserve death. If you leave your dog's poop on the sidewalk, you deserve death.
I also like when they put it in the poop bags, but then just leave the.
That happened. We were over to park today. We were over in the Heights. We parked the car on the side of the road. There's just a poop bag filled with poop sitting on the side of the road. There's a garbage can 50 feet away. Throw it away.
Pretty impressive.
You know how I feel about these things. You know how I feel about picking up your dog's poop. I don't always pick up Luther's poop because sometimes it's in a bush. Sometimes it's, in a hard area to get to. Sometimes I just don't have a bag, which is very rare. But when I don't have a bag, if it's in a spot that it's in someone's yard, I will go home and get a bag and I will pick up that poop. Like, I'm not going to be the guy that they find on the Ring doorbell, and I'm going to be on one of these sites of, being a guy that didn't pick up his dog's poop and I'm some sort of monster. Plus, it's just common courtesy, and it's illegal to not pick up your dog's poop. But it's one thing if it's in a bush. It's one thing if it's in the corner of a dog park. It's another thing if it's, like too runny to pick up. Whatever, you know what I'm saying?
There's
These things
exceptions.
happen, and I respect
There
that,
are
right?
few exceptions, but yes.
But if you're and a lot of these people, like I bet their excuse is, well, I just have a big dog and he unloads a big poop. Then get a big bag or get a smaller dog. That would be my suggestion to you, you schmuck. I hate, and I just don't understand it. Like we'll be walking down the sidewalk and a mountain of feces just sitting there, dog feces. Now, based on our neighborhood, it could also very well just be human feces. I don't know.
It might be.
But who knows? But I don't understand it. I don't get it. I don't like it. I don't understand people. Why are people such assholes? Pick up your dog's poop or don't have a dog. Like Jim, he is one of these people. He doesn't pick up his dog's poop.
But he is
a monster.
He doesn't leave it though. He just sends Dusty to pick it up.
But I understand that. But if Dusty weren't around and he walked the dog, which is probably rare anyway for his fat ass, he didn't walk his dog. He's probably walked his dog 3 times ever. But we talked about it on the air that one day. It's like, yeah, well, I'm grossed out by poop. I don't know if it's weird, but I'm more disgusted by dog pee than dog poop.
That is kind of weird.
Now, the most disgusting thing I've ever seen dog bodily function related was when we accidentally overfed my dad's dog. Like, we didn't know that they had fed him before they went out of town.
That was vile.
And we thought, boy, this poor dog is just underfed. So we went and just filled up his dog bowl, woke up the next day, and this dog, it's an English bulldog. This English bulldog had 4 or 5 gigantic, runny mountains of dog poop everywhere. And like, I had to pick it up. It was my responsibility to pick it up. We're watching the house. I'm not just going to, roll out and be like, oh no, your dog pooped everywhere. Gotta go. That's what my dad would do. And I am not my dad. I would not do that. But like, oh dear. And it was like, that was the closest I've come to throwing up over dog poop. Like, dog poop doesn't really weird me out, especially Luther's poop. I know his brand.
Yeah, I was gonna say, other dog poop kind of freaks me out, but I know Luther's. That's like easy.
Yeah, so I'm fine. But like when Dad's dog left 4 or 5 mounds, all in the like one night, we come out and it's all over the kitchen floor. And there was absolutely it was not firm at all. It was just a mountain of mush is what it was. It was gross, and I had to get out multiple shopping bags to pick up this poop. Speaking of my dad, he posted a picture on Facebook today. He's out buying a jacket for the cover of his new CD.
Right, that's right. It was like the greatest hits he's ever written CD or
Or
something.
the songs that he's never recorded yet.
But others have.
No, I don't know that anybody else has recorded them either.
I thought that was the thing, is he's written these songs for like celebrities.
Oh, yeah, that
and now
could be.
he's giving you his take on them.
That could be. Yeah,
I
that
believe
might make
that's what
sense.
it was. I'd go look, but I feel like he posts a lot since then.
But the part that stands out to me, and that's my favorite part of it all, is that he's taking a picture for the cover of a CD.
Right.
To which I posted, like, what's a CD? And I don't know that any of his audience got it.
Probably not.
Like, they didn't understand the joke.
Like, if anyone's going to buy CDs, though, it will be his audience. So maybe he's right and we're just wrong. But
Like, my poor dad's going
we
to be
talked
selling
about
these CDs out of the back of his trunk.
we talked about it. Like, we should get him to upload all this stuff on Spotify, upload it on Apple Music, all stuff like that, you know? But then again, his audience, maybe they do want a CD. They could probably buy the CD DVD combo with Go Fish in the Movie, too.
See, that's what he should do. Someone asked a question, is there going to be a soundtrack? I think there should be. I'm overly excited for the release of Go Fish in the Movie. Like, I am jacked up. I'm ready to go. When did he say it was coming out? The end of September?
I think
If
so.
that's the case, we're not that far away. I really wish Dad would come to town and have a premiere here over at Demir's Theater.
First of all, your dad's never going to come to town.
No, but I said I wish, Jilly.
He can send us the movie,
Then
and we can have it.
But then who would want to come out to a premiere if one of the stars of the movie is not there?
Well, maybe we can ask
That's
the
what
guy
makes it
from
a fun
Restless Heart
premiere.
to come.
Well, he's not. No, we might have a better chance of getting him
He's
than
playing
Dad.
the arena. Maybe we just do it around then.
That's true. That's true. I don't know, man. I think here's what we need to do. Here's how we can make it happen. Demir has to call him and just be like, hey, I own a theater in Houston.
Yeah, and he can't say that he knows you.
Yeah, it's like, I've heard that you're making this movie. I saw it on your Facebook page. We'd actually like to do a premiere, maybe like a one weekend showing. Because think about this, even by September, it's not like there's going to be a ton of movies to go see. So people are going to be looking for anything, and maybe a limited engagement release where there's a couple of showings a day of Go Fish in the Movie. No one will know what it's about other than going fishing. We don't know what it's about other than going fishing, and we've watched 3 different trailers, and we have no idea what we have in this movie. All we know is they're fishing, and I guess for some reason the judge is making them fish.
And also,
that's all we know.
This CD is, in fact, songs that he and his writing partner, Nelson Blanchard, have written and demoed. A lot of them, a lot have been recorded by country greats like Kenny Rogers, Sammy Kershaw, Shenandoah, Charlie Daniels, Neil McCoy, Richie McDonald, T. Graham Brown, John Schneider, and more. And now I have compiled all of my versions of the songs and a few cover tunes onto one CD.
Woohoo! Yeah.
Available in September, One Scott Shop. It's Scott Innes, Over the Rainbow. That's Beaux, Beaux, of course.
Here's the thing, though. I still think he'd have a better chance of selling them out of the back of his truck. Just go, be like the people that set up and sell watermelons on the side of the road. Just
I don't
do that.
think he's not going to do that. I figured he
you know
would.
what he should do is do like the wannabe aspiring rapper guys that hang outside the gas station.
Oh, yeah, that'll go
and
well.
hand you their CD, and you're like, all right, thanks. Then they go, hey, $10. You say, no, thanks. I don't need your CD that much, friend. One of those type of things. Maybe that would be the answer. But yes, so
these are songs that he's written and others have recorded, but now you will hear the Scott Innes take on them.
Are there going to be Go Fishing t-shirts? I bet our audience would buy Go Fishing t-shirts, Go Fishing the Movie shirts. I need to have Dad send me the logo for Go Fishing the Movie.
I mean, I think you'd sell maybe 20.
I don't know.
I think they might be around the Just Don't Know t-shirt numbers.
I don't know. I'm not positive on that. I think maybe they would if we made a limited number. And maybe, what if we made it like a Go Fishing the Movie like crew t-shirt? Like the shirt says like crew on it.
Well, you probably just would have to include like an 8x10 autographed by your dad.
I'm sure I could
That
see
I think people would probably buy to get with.
I've already got one person who says they'd 1,000% buy one. And that's one t-shirt. Now all these people are just saying, I'll buy it, I'll buy it, I'll buy it, I'll buy it. I'm still waiting for my Just Nation t-shirt. Well, then you need to contact the guys over at 97 Graphics. Shelby is who you're looking for. I apologize for that. But if you need to reach out to Shelby at 97 Graphics, they're the ones that send them out. But make sure you do that if you'd like it. I apologize for that. But anyway, all right, we will say goodbye to the podcast audience. Let's see here. Podcast audience, see ya. All right, podcast audience is gone. Now it's just us girls. And here's what you get, friends. Here's what we need from you. This is bit time. It's a bit bonanza time because let's get things going on the right note, because I think Don Collins is kind of looking at us lately like, where'd all your people go? I'm like, well, Don, I don't know where they all went. I don't know what you want from me. I can't control what these folks do. But get your bits in before we get out of here. Get your bits in, everybody. Get your bits in. And we would appreciate that. We may, and it may not be this weekend, it may be a next weekend, but I have ordered a new camera and a new tripod. And maybe one Saturday we're going to bring that downstairs and just sit on the couch and do a show instead of coming up here.
As I said, when there's stuff happening, I like to be able to watch it.
So we can
and if
watch
you're betting, it's not as much fun on your phone or when you're just staring at your computer over there.
Yep.
So, yeah, I like that idea.
So, well, that's going to be one of our next things we try out. Just sitting on the couch. We'll have a camera, and we'll watch our stories downstairs. We'll have watch-alongs. Let's see. Where'd all the watchers go? Tries to block a longtime viewer for being funny. You funny, Josh. Okay, Go Gadget Wang. Let's see. Thank you for the bits, Aaron Brusso and Krilla Gorilla. What was our main talking point on the podcast today? What should be the title of this?
There was the whole your wacky bit.
Yep. Okay, there was that.
And there was the Blake Lively run.
Oh, the golden Wokies. There we go. Jilly discuss Josh's attempt at a bit on his radio show today. There you go. That's hot right there. That's good stuff. People now say they want a Southside Jilly t-shirt.
Everyone wants t-shirts until we actually make them.
Yeah, then they're like, nope, we will not be buying these
fun.
t-shirts. Let's see. Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds are now racist because they had their wedding at a plantation back in 2012. Thank you for the bits there, Spank It, Slap It. That's awful sweet of you. They have canceled themselves. A wacko in Portland has successfully canceled a showing of Kindergarten Cop. How do you spell kindergarten? Is it Garten? Yes, Kindergarten Cop. Now I gotta make
Yes, Kindergarten.
Good. I had to make sure. The last thing I need is to be totally a moron. Not that anybody reads the description of these things anyway. But let's see. Thank you, Krilla Gorilla, for the bits. All right, let's see. Writing. Logo. Explicit content. We will post that shit. Alrighty then. Thank you, JisonFan713 for the bits there as well. You are a sweetheart. Make sure you tell your friends about the show as well. Spread the word. Spread the gospel about Gist Nation. We would appreciate it. All right, I will hit stop on the recording, and then I will